Hello, welcome back. We are here with two students from the college. Can you introduce yourselves?
Scott Roachmore.
Josh David Tuig.
And you're studying here on the college, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I was studying around the college, yeah.
And what is your study that you're doing?
I'm doing film and television production.
I'm doing furniture making and restoration.
And how do you find it so far? Your course, do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a good course. It's I really enjoy it because it's not all study. We get to work with our hands and do practically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not much with your head in the books, like.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I enjoy my course because you get to learn a lot about restoring furniture and a lot to do with woodworking. It's very hands-on and it's very practical, but I just don't like the theory side of it.
And it's a 1-year education, or it's longer, or?
Well, so my one is actually there's 2 1-year courses. So I'm in first year right now, so I can decide to go into another course if I'd like, or I can keep on and go to second year. But I have to reapply again as if I was doing it again.
Ah, okay, so it's possible to
Do a second year.
do
Yeah.
a second year.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Mine's a 1-year course, but I could go to a different college and get a level 6. So I'll see after this course if I pass it or will I just get a full-time job. But I'll always keep woodworking as my hobby.
Yeah. And you can get to university also if you finish this, or.
It depends on which university. So with my course, I can go to UCC, University College Cork, from here, which it's a lot of it's theory based. So I won't be, but you could, or you can do that the second year. But you have to have very high marks to go in there.
Ah yeah.
Like, do you know, in the Netherlands, would you have to pay for college? Because over here, you'd have to get the points and you'd have to pay for your course per year. Like, how's it like in the Netherlands?
Yeah, we have to pay, unfortunately, and yeah, but we, yeah, sad life. But yeah, we get support from the government. But yeah, it depends on what your parents are like earning, their income, like. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
that's
get-
different for everybody.
yeah.
It's a bit like that here. So based on your parents' income here, you can get the SUSI grant, which will help you with college. It doesn't pay for it, but it'll cover your travel fees or rent fees, etc.
Yeah. So normally the college fund we have to pay each school year is about 2,000 euros. And if you're in higher education, it's about 4,000 euros.
Yeah.
And because of COVID last year, the government decided to put it in half. So this year we only have about 1,000
Yeah,
1,000 euros to pay for school money, and you get a monthly fee. It starts at 86 euros per month.
Yeah.
That is like what everybody gets. And if your parents make less money, then it could go up to about 150, 200 euros a month, or just the 86.
Well, I think here mine was 500, and I don't know what
Mine was 600, but if the government will help if you have a medical card over in Ireland, they'll reduce half the price, so you'd probably pay like 400 for your course.
But it also depends on if you live at home or if you live on your own. If you live at home, it is like the 80, 90 euros. But if you live like on your own and your parents doesn't make much, you also get 600 euros.
Yeah, like
every
that's as Scott was saying, that's similar with the SUSI, because if you live further away from the college, they pay you more. But
Yeah.
if it's not far from the college, so if you're like living 10 or 20 minutes, they'll give you a bit less, but it still helps to cover travel and the leap card over here.
Yeah, but every student, doesn't matter where you live, you get free bus and train, like public transportation. Everyone gets that. And you can decide if you want it from Monday to Friday or you want it in the weekend. You can decide that for yourself.
We need that here, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's also good for the sustainability because
It is because people can get where they need to
Yes.
go. Yeah, that's
Can I ask a question? So, like, in Ireland, after secondary school, we have a lot of apprenticeships in construction, engineering or biomedicine. Is that big in the Netherlands to do construction or any
yeah.
of those things?
Not really, I think.
Not really.
it's always
no.
Irish people. going there.
Medical studies are big, like in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But no, construction. No, I don't think so.
Well, it's most likely the construction on the university level. So like being a building engineer and stuff like that, that's very popular.
Yeah.
But like working with your hands and being electrician or a a plumber, I think is the right word
Yeah,
for it.
plumber,
Yeah,
yeah.
being a plumber, that's like we really have a shortage of that.
We really have general educations, not really specific.
No.
Specific.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah.
really general, like construction. You have really your construction is really general. And we have just construction for a lot of different things.
Yeah, because in Ireland there's a lot of different sectors, so you could do an apprenticeship for a carpenter and joiner, and that'd be 4 years.
And then when you're in there, you find your niche in the area, like
Yeah.
what you prefer doing the best.
And yeah, as Scott would said, like you have different, like you take what you want out of that apprenticeship, then you become a fully employed carpenter or joiner, and you'd probably work with a company or go self-employed and run your own business essentially.
Because it's more common in the Netherlands that you have a 3-year education, and mostly in the end of your first year and the end of your second year that you can choose which direction you can go to. For example, we have a study called social work. The first year is very general. It's a 4-year study. And then in the second year, you can choose if you want to go to childcare or you want to work with elderly or mental disabled people. So that is very common in the Netherlands to have just start with general studies and then decide if you want to go and take it further.
Not like here at all.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
education system is probably very different from Ireland and the Netherlands, because a lot of people now would be taking up apprenticeships, or a lot of people be going into biomedicine in Ireland, but
Well, not as much as there used to be.
yeah, not as much as it used to be, but there's a lot of people, like a lot of young lads leaving school now, they want to become electricians or blocklayers or
Say like 10 years ago,
carpenters.
we had a lot of people who were doing trades.
Yeah,
And when the recession hit, a lot of people were like, oh, we'll start doing different kind
Yeah,
of things. And
like-
now we're already starting to get back a leg up with all the trades and stuff.
Yeah, also a lot of people are doing like internships and they eventually will work there because they're like very hands-on and then they're like, oh, I still have a job then. So they're going mostly, well, like I do that with my internship. I work there as well. Like, yeah.
And how common is it for people from under the age of 18 to stop with school? Is that like possible even, or
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's, up
Yeah.
to it's your own choice. If you're
Yeah.
18,
no,
and
but
you-
under the 18? Like if
Oh, yeah.
you're
so
17.
at the age of 16, it's up to you and your parents if you want to leave school and to do a FOSS course. So FOSS is basically publicly funded from the government to do like a trade or to try get into further education, into a PLC or into UCC or CIT.
But if you're like 16 and you decide to stop with school like entirely and just work,
you can.
You can do
can.
that, or you can
As
go-
long as you're 16, you can, and if you're under 16, then you get parental permission.
oh,
or you
under
or
the
you go
wait,
do a
under the
trade.
age of 16, your parents can like sign for you to stop with school.
As long as you have your junior certificate finished.
Oh, you have to have some sort of.
Yeah, you
Okay.
have to have your junior cert.
And then after that, you don't have to have your leaving cert.
Yeah.
You can
That's in
Oh.
our country completely different.
Yes.
You have to be 21 at least if you don't have a
No,
degree, and 18
yeah,
if
if
you
you don't-
have a
yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
That's
no,
like
no, you don't have a degree. At 18, you're free.
And you also have to pay a lot of like money if you don't finish your school in like 10 years.
If you get like the 500-600 euros every month, if you don't finish your school, you're like,
Have to pay it all back.
yes.
Yeah, you're in big troubles.
And also the money you get from the school, from the buses and stuff, you also have everything.
Yeah,
So-
you have to pay everything back.
If you're in the Netherlands and you wanted to drop out at 16, like would
You
the
can't.
would your parents be disappointed if?
Yeah,
Right.
they probably, yeah.
Yeah, in Ireland it's different. Like some parents would be strict on it, but some would be like, oh, you have to go get a trade or you have to go do work. Like you have to make something out of your life.
It's just as long as we have like if you have a job, some sustainability in your life, then they'll leave you.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're like, just do what you want.
Yeah.
Well, if you stop,
Yeah.
if you're quitting school under the age of 18 and you don't have a certificate for it, your parents will get a fine because you're not at school, and their parents have to come to court because you're not at school, and they will get punished because their kid is dropping out of school. So it's very strict in the Netherlands.
you don't have the hours, you have some hours you have to put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as if you miss 21 or 20 or 21 days in school, there'll be an officer from the government who will come out and your parents and you'll have to explain
Yeah.
why you're missing school. Like I know that happens in Ireland, but does that happen in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't have a very good reason, because it is, we have a summer holiday and it starts at the middle of July. And some of the parents are thinking, it's just the last week of school, so I can just take my kid and go on a vacation. Even for that, you can get a very high fine from the government.
Yeah.
That it's not like that in Ireland. Like, you could miss a week, but you'd have to have like a doctor's note or a good explanation why you
It's
missed.
like the government, after, if it was when we were younger, it was 30 days.
Yeah.
Now it's gone into 15 days. If 15 days without explanation, missing school when you're under the age of 15, you get a letter for summons and you have to explain yourself.
You get it from TUSLA, which is the children's services in Ireland. They're like
social workers.
Social workers, yeah.
And then the last but not important question, is there anything you want to change about the education here in Ireland?
Yeah, like our universities aren't as inclusive as they should be. So with it, it's all about leaving cert points, which I think is an older system, because you can't judge everyone's ability to learn. And
based on their economic economic income as well.
You can't judge it all off each person the same, because everyone's different. Like, some people learn from doing stuff, some people learn from reading, some people learn from listening, and our educational system at the moment is just judging off the one standpoint where it shouldn't.
If I could change one thing about like construction or anything, is to include more women, because it's seen as a man's job, but there's plenty of women who go out there who could do block laying or carpentry. But Ireland needs to change that and push the construction sector up, because Ireland is calling out for builders, carpenters, painters and all that, because Ireland's in the middle of a housing crisis at the moment with the homelessness, but we just need more in the construction sector. And as Scott said, that the college could include more people from a poor income background. Like, it doesn't have to be on money or leaving cert points, is to do if they can do the course and their ability to do it.
Okay, that's very great. Thank you. It was a nice conversation. Thank you for being here. And good luck with your studies.
Thanks for having us.
Dank jullie wel voor het luisteren naar deze podcast. We hopen dat jullie hier wat van hebben opgestoken en wat van hebben geleerd. Willen jullie nou meer informatie over wat wij hier doen in Cork? Vergeet ons dan vooral niet te volgen op social media. We hebben Twitter, Facebook en Instagram, alle 3 onder dezelfde naam, namelijk Northgate NL. Dank jullie wel en tot de volgende keer.